All right, what's going on, everybody? So, this recording is going to be for both the uh, elite group and for just the free group in Minerva and anybody on YouTube that's watching it. I'm doing this one video just across the board to kind of go over everything that we're seeing. I did not actually type out what I wanted to ahead of time. I probably should have did that, but it is what it is. Where is the notepad? The notepad is missing. So I want to type in notepad. Oh, notepad. And then I'm going to pin this. I don't know why it wasn't pinned. Pin to taskbar. Cool. So we have that all set. And you can't even see that. So let me share a new screen. Boom. Boom. All right. So this is what I opened up so that we have it set in stone. But like I was saying, this one's going to be free for every single person. Now, yesterday was pretty interesting. The pairs were really just consolidating. I had said that we were looking for ranges. Actually, I didn't even do an analysis last night, which is funny. But the analysis beforehand, 2 days ago, I called price was either going to start pulling back up for a pullback to the upside and then drop, or it was going to range and then continue that drop. So for the higher time frames on EURUSD, the reason why we were looking for continued drops was because it entered into a weekly demand. And every single time price hits a demand or a supply, no matter what it is, it does go into it a little bit. And you see that over and over again when it comes to, let's say, the 1 hour zones that it's in. It never just, there is times when the lower time frames do get wicked and they're perfect, but that's the lower time frame, right? They're a little bit more precise on price action. These higher time frames, though, you're not going to see price wick directly off the weekly to a T and then jump off because it's such a massive zone of liquidity. They have multiple areas within this massive weekly demand or supply, for this example, weekly, or the demand. It has multiple areas where there is liquidity on smaller time frames. You got daily, you got the 4 hour, you got the 1 hour, and you have all these other use zones in between. And it's about to pile through them, collect all these orders that it's in, right? Because all these are buy orders that they're in. All demand zones just represent the buy orders that prices, these algorithms and these hedge funds and these institutions are inside of, and they're going to go back and collect their money and then continue with the overall direction where they have other money trapped. So they're just going to keep pushing down into this weekly zone and with the overall trend. We had a daily call on Nerva, which I don't think you guys see this. This is like a little sneak peek of what we're showing inside of our group. I'm going to show this. So we got here, you guys should see my screen now. But we have this is a little sneak peek of our dashboard. And I have certain pairs you can put up on your watch list right now. These are the ones that I have on my wife's account, my Tether. And the pairs that I look at are EU, GU, AU, NU. And if we go through all of them real quick, so let's go to EU, which is what we're on right now, and I'm checking it based off of the daily time frame. So the daily time frame, the current call, which was called at the end of the day, called it for a sell. And if we go look at what happened based off of this candle right here, it called it on this candle. It said sell. Look what happened. Price tanked to begin the day. Oh, I mean, I wouldn't say like crazy tank, but it's dropping, right? It's currently in profit heading towards TP1. So it's doing good. It's doing its job. It called a sell on here. On EU, it called a sell on where is it? GU right here on the daily, called the sell here. GU just dropped, NU just dropped, all right here in the daily, and then AUD, USD. All dropped, all 100% on point, and it's doing really well. And then beneath those, you're going to see we have Trading View integrated as well. We're working on some other little technical stuff that's going to help this hopefully pop up our indicators on here, so you guys maybe won't need Trading View anymore. I'm not exactly sure how that works. I'm probably wrong and you can't do it, but I'm hopeful and seeing what our coders are capable of doing. And it gives you all the technical aspects of it. And then on top of that, if you go on the top right here where it says market, it'll show you Forex heat maps. It'll show you the indice prices, all the little the trinkets of what price is doing, what's bullish, what's a little bit bearish, what's really bearish, what's really bullish, all the price changes, all right here. Probably useless for most people, which again, this is a beginning launch, right? Some of this stuff you probably won't even need in the future. It is what it is. Then we have stock heat maps. We have stock prices, crypto heat maps, what's super bearish right now, right? It's down 5%. and all the little S&P, the indices and the commodities. So there's so many things that are going to be coming out, right? This is just phase one of our launch, and we're super excited for what's coming. But on top of that, right, we're going to be integrating that dashboard along with this in our analysis as we progress. But Euro USD is looking to continue. So we're looking for continued sells. There's no point in looking for reversals yet. It is doing its consolidation that it was doing for the last couple of days. It dropped, hit all these demands, had to relieve some of itself to pull back, and that's exactly what it did. So right now, price is retesting these lows. It's retesting the lows, and the only reason I would say I see price breaking this is because in this exact zone we have equal lows. So you have all these zones. You have 1, 2, 3, 4 areas where price rejected, and when you get that many rejections in that area, it's usually because there's a lot of liquidity there, but also they're gonna break through that. And on top of that, all beneath this collection of demands, you have a daily demand and a 4 hour. And the higher the time frame, the more magnetic it is, the more powerful it is. And that's right beneath all of them. So they're going to blow out this liquidity, go right for that daily, maybe a little bit lower, and whatnot to fulfill part of this weekly demand. And if they go lower, they're going to either hit this 4 hour or this 1 hour demand too. So just be on the lookout. Price could easily keep dropping. I don't recommend just automatically selling because price is retesting these zones. We might get a little bit of a pullback. We have some supply zones that are pulled up here. I would I would suggest because this is this is Euro USD, and right now it's Asian session. It's not London. It's not New York. I would say wait for price to make moves upwards. Right. I think it's going to fulfill some of these areas, maybe continue a little bit of the range, and then we'll see price drop overall. So by tomorrow morning, this chart's going to look a little bit different. But if you are trading London session, this is going to be a solid setup for what you're looking for. So let's take a look at a little bit more precision. So I would say, yep, price is rejecting this demand beautifully. I would think, what is, it's the line I just drew. We are going to expect price to push up, and then we are going to look for the continued sell. So price is looking to continue its push down based on it entering into the entering into the weekly demand, and also it placed on it entering into weekly demand and most likely going to hit the daily demand. So let's expect some pullbacks so we can get best entry or sell. If price does not break these lows and demands, then we could see a prolonged ranging of price to accumulate more liquidity. Before continuing further. All right, so that's that. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys. Let's go to GBPUSD, right? So that's EU. We're expecting continued sells, look for pullbacks to the upside, and we'll look for better entries so that we're not selling at a low. One of the rules is don't ever sell in demand. That's breakout trading. You're not a breakout trader. You're a precision trader. You're looking for the best optimal entries that are going to give you the highest probability of success. The only way that's going to work is if you wait for pullbacks to these areas of supply so that you can get in on those continued sells. So same thing for GU. EU and GU tend to do the same thing. Right now, EU or GU is stop hunting. So look, this is exactly what I was talking about, how we had equal lows down here. Price is breaking through, and anybody that's new in the retail space or anything along trading, they're thinking sell. So everybody's going to start selling because they want to capture this whole move. If they have these demands, they're going to be like, oh, I want to catch all this space right here. but that's going to be too early. This is a inducement. They will continue down, but before they do that, they have to trap the breakout traders. So they shot down, breakout now, consolidate inside of these demand zones, and then we'll see pullbacks that go here, back up, and eventually towards these lower monthly demands and this other daily demand. And it's also within the same thing like of the EU, it's within the weekly demand itself. So we want to see price because it just entered into this. So all the other ones are showing price going further into weekly demand, like EU and NU, right? I'll go over that as we proceed. But all of it can always pushes further into weekly demand. The only thing that could stop this from happening tonight is if price does what I was just saying on EU. Maybe it continues a little bit of range and then continues down because they want to trap as many traders as possible. This is a big move. They're in a big demand. So, of course, they're going to start doing some traps and inducements and chart patterns that are going to make people be enticed to take further sells or maybe buys, hopefully catching a reversal. Because if you caught a reversal down here all the way at the bottom, all the way back to the top, you're going to feel pretty good about yourself. And everybody likes to have that type of hope. But I can tell you right now, that's an illusion. They don't want you to do that. They want to trap you to the downside, push back up, trap you to the upside, and then push it right back down again. They do it both ways every single day on every time frame. So based on what we're seeing, just said we're looking at price being trapped right now inside demand. Look for pullbacks towards this supply point. If it breaks, and it could reject here and drop down further, or it's going to go up to here and drop down further down to this monthly demand, right? That's the target. The overall target, other than this, is the monthly demands. So we want to see price continue. We want to see price push down further. If you're looking at this now, or you're going to be trading London session, my advice is wait for it to pull back up. It's too soon. It's not in the zone. You don't sell in demand. You only sell when price pulls back to a supply or demand, and then you take it in the direction that it's overall going on a higher time frame. The higher time frames are all saying sell, all bearish, all bearish. There's no point in buying. The only time you should be buying is if you're a scalper and you're in and you're out. If you are an intraday trader or a swing trader, you're hurting yourself. So keep that going. Let me get this moved here. I'm going to say same thing as EU. Price just entered into a weekly demand. So we are expecting further pushes down to target to the monthly demand as the monthly demand at, I'm going to say 1.23376 as the target. All right, so that's the main target. Wait for price to push back up because at the moment of recording, they are inducing early breakout sellers, and they're inducing early breakout sellers and pulling back to stop out before continuing. Right, so that's pretty simple. All right, let's go to NUD, NZD, USD, NUD, PD. I said NUD, the NUD. So NZD has been inside. So this is the prime example of what I'm talking about here. We got a weekly demand that happened weeks ago, right? Well, I'm talking the weekly demand that started from November last year. And this is what happened. Price came up, it shot up, it stayed over here for several weeks, over a dozen weeks, and then came back into it for the first time in March. Hit it. And this is exactly why I'm telling you guys why we should expect price to continue, because it didn't just hit it in reverse. It had an initial rejection in the first 3 weeks it touched it, but it continued down to further demands. And it's continuing even further because lower on this side where the first demand was, there was a stronger demand that price is now pushing further into. So we are going to see price push a little further down. We want to be continuing the sells. That means the only thing you should be doing is looking for pullbacks to the upside so that you can capture an optimal sell. Right now, it's still too early. Either NZD just made its move because NZD and AUD are both Asian session pairs and New York session pairs, so they can make their moves earlier on. So if they did make this move now, then we could expect a pullback just like EU and GU, and then we can look for sells going into the New York session. And I already checked; there is no major news. There is GBP news at 1 a.m. I believe it's in 3.5 hours. So if you're awake for London session, then you'll see it. If you're not, then it doesn't matter. You just wait for the New York session to come by and you should be good. So price actually, dang, how did I not see this? Did I not draw this up? It actually just hit a daily demand right here. So this is like a confluence of setups right now. So we have price entering into a weekly demand while simultaneously hitting a daily demand, and they don't just wick off of one another. They will go further down. The only thing that can happen when price is hitting these zones is a slight pullback. So it goes in, hits the lower forms of demand, pulls back, and then continues further. If it doesn't pull back, the only other option is this: hits and it consolidates inside the zone and then continues. So this is what they do because they understand there are a lot of people in the world that understand this logic and they want to trap them as fast as they can as well. Because even though you might know the direction, if you over leverage your account, you get it at the wrong place and you don't have the right size account, you could blow your money still and still be right in the long run. Right? See, this is where you got to be patient with it. And these setups, this is what's cool about this type of analysis and this charting is you don't need to catch every single setup. There's 28 pairs in Forex, there's commodities, there's indices, there's crypto. This happens on every single pair, no matter what the industry is. It works both the same way. So you just got to be patient. So currently price is hitting this 4 hour. This actually must have just happened as we were talking. Yeah, this happened as we were talking. So I got to fix this line right here live on this call so you guys are seeing firsthand what I do when price actually hits these lines, right? Because I only make them boxes after price hits them. So we have a 4 hour demand. I can delete this line. So we have price entering a daily demand, 4 hour demand, weekly demand, and now we're seeing major pushes. We want to see pushes further, but before that, price pushes back up. We get a solid 1 hour supply right here. If it doesn't push down a little bit further into this, I'll be surprised, but I believe it's going to hit there. If not further, we get a pullback to the upside and then a drop down, or we're going to get a pullback, consolidation, and a drop. Right? It's traps. This is what they want to do. Right. So let me see anything on a 15-minute. We got a 15-minute zone right there. Don't worry too much. I get the 30-minute. 30 minutes is the same as 15, so that doesn't matter. So just expect pullbacks. Pullbacks, and we'll be good for the continued sells. So let me write this out. Price just entered into a weekly and daily demand zone. So further pushes down are expected. We could see, we want to see a pullback towards recent supply to get an optimal entry to catch the rest of the move. Jesus, my grammar. Rest of the move down. That one's pretty simple because of all the other things. Right? As I progress into each pair, you start seeing it. All right, did I even draw this? How did I not do this? Because I was messing with the boxes. So here we go. So I got to draw these boxes live. I already did the other one, so this is going to be pretty simple. Got here and here. Right there. 1 hour supply. Did I even draw a 4 hour one? Nope. 4 hour is inside of that 1 hour. We got the 30-minute. Do the 30-minute. Oh, power to the room as well. Interesting. 30-minute here. And then we go to look at the 15-minute. So this is a collection of supplies that are all perfectly set up. Hours right there. Don't need to worry about that. Don't worry about that. So good. Okay, cool. We're good. So price just with the 30 minutes of it right there. It's like as we were talking. So just like I do every other time that I take my time with this, I'm gonna draw my box real quick. Oh, it was already touched here. What the heck? Why is this drawn? How did I not see that? Must be old. What in tarnations? This is weird. Okay, I'll just leave it like this because this is still the same thing. Okay, so price is really shooting down for AU. Like, holy crap. AU really shot down and it's hitting all these demand zones right now. Two 1 hour, a 4 hour, a daily, a weekly. This thing is going to push down further to here. It's going to hit these lower demands, and that might happen during this session, to be honest. We could see price come down during this session, retrace off this demand, and start heading back towards supply here. The only thing is, the only supply that's available is right there. If this drops one more time, then the other supply would be this bullish candle right here, but it hasn't formed yet. So this would have to have some major retracements back up if this happens. And if it does, then you can capture a solid move, but it's still early. It's entered into a weekly, like I said, it's entered into a daily. And now we just have to be patient to see exactly what it does. Because I personally trade New York session. I don't trade Asian session unless I see a move at the time of recording that I usually do it. I usually do it like 5 or 6, but the schedule is being recalibrated, so I got to make sure everything's good. But pushes down. We want to see pullbacks to the upside, maybe a consolidation. It's probably going to continue down, to be honest, tonight. And we're not going to see a pullback until New York session tomorrow, in which case, if we do, this is what's going to happen. Drop, hit demand, throw a big push up, come back down, and then we can look for a buy that pushes it right back into these supplies here. So this could be a counter trend trade if the push down is hard enough and if the push back up is hard enough. We have to look for those big pushes. The big pushes is what gives this entire strategy validity. If it is just consolidating, it's garbage. It's not what we want. It's not institutional moves like this. You see how big that drop is? That drop is not retail traders. That drop is the corporations that have billions or trillions of dollars. More like billions, because not everybody has trillions, but these are the people that have the amount of money necessary to move that much in one session. So if a move like this happens, which I believe is going to continue down, I've seen consolidated patterns like this before, it will shoot down one more time. And if the push up is as hard as this drop, then this is going to set up for a perfect pullback into demand where we can buy it right back up into these supplies that were formed during this session. So that's what we want to be looking for. And I'm going to type that out right now. So AU, looking for price to shoot down a little further towards the 30-minute and 15-minute demands to then shoot back up hard to potentially catch a counter trend buy towards the supplies formed during Asian session. It's already dropped far enough. So getting in on highs could be valid as long as the proper conditions are met. Right. So that's that. Now we just gotta wait and see. Right? That's the bulk of the analysis. This is how I do it every single night, as all the nights that I can get on. And then I essentially wait and see what happens by the morning, and we catch it from there. So for those that were not paying attention before, on my other ones for gold, before I even did the recording, we were waiting for gold to hit to this 1 hour demand right or supply right here, and the 30-minute and the 15-minute, and this thing smacked it right before I started recording this, and it was absolutely amazing. Problem is, I got out way earlier because I was just like, you know what, I'm tired of it just ranging. And then, of course, the moment I get out early, it decides to break the highs and go and touch those supplies. And to be honest, I'm a little salty, but it is what it is. It happens, and I know I'm going to catch another great. So, uh, my analysis on gold, which I'm not going to type out, I'm just going to tell you guys from what I've been seeing, we are going to see higher highs, right? Because price is filling in these gaps, and gold is about to have an all-time high again. The last all-time high was from April 12th, 6 days ago. We're going to see it push higher. This thing isn't done, and this is a dangerous zone to be selling gold. I would not be selling gold at all because of just how the DXY is, how the dollar was in the economy. Um, and something is going to make this thing go to an all-time high. So it's very, very confusing times for gold unless it starts consolidating like this and you get like a Nerva calls. Obviously, then it makes sense. And I think this is 3D. I mean, 1D. Who did that? That's a lot of signals. It shouldn't naturally be like that. Is this 1D? Yeah, it's 3D. Okay. So I believe gold is going to keep pushing, to be honest. I think it's going to go and break the highs that were set on the 12th, and we are going to see a new all-time high either tonight or tomorrow. And from there, I am not touching gold. There's no point in touching gold when it's at an all-time high. It's an unknown territory. There is no supplies. There is nothing for price to test because it's never been here before. So just stay bullish. Don't look for sells until you get some breaks of structure like that break these demands. Once price breaks these demands down here, then you start looking for your selling opportunity to go down towards these lower demands here. Right. So that is exactly what we're waiting for. Wait for the demands to break, wait for it to pull back into supply. Then you can take it further into other sells. So that's the analysis tonight, guys. Thank you for hopping on. I'll post the recording in the YouTube, in the cord, in the Telegram chat, and we'll be good to go. So thanks for hopping on. I will catch you guys next week. Tomorrow's Friday. So yeah, I won't be doing it tomorrow. So have a good night. Peace out.